Many kids these days are starting to specialize in a single sport at an earlier age, and we're going to talk about it on this Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Catherine Fox from SSM Health Sports Medicine. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, so I've seen it more and more. I know you have kids playing youth sports as well. At a younger age, kids are doing just one sport at a time. Can we talk about maybe what are some of the positive and negative effects? Let's start with maybe the negative, where it can maybe harm a kid physically to specialize earlier.
Yeah, great. So early sports specialization is when kids are dedicating most of their time or committing to one sport at the exclusion of others. And this becomes an issue when it's before puberty especially. When bones are still growing, the growth plates are a really prime spot for injury. And if we focus on one sport, do the same repeated activity, you're more likely to get an injury to that growth plate, and it becomes more difficult to treat.
Is there some sort of evidence as well that mentally maybe a kid can burn out quicker if they're just doing one thing at a time?
Yes. So lots of studies have shown that early youth specialization and committing to one sport early will cause burnout, anxiety, increased rates of depression. It can also lead to kids dropping out of sports early, which we all know there's a lot of stuff you get from sports aside from just being physically active, being part of a team, a good work ethic. So if they're not participating in later adolescence, high school, recreational level, there are negative consequences outside of just physical negative consequences.
And part of the reason we're seeing this is because so many parents, I think, feel pressure that my kid's going to fall behind if they're not playing that one sport year round. Is there any evidence that that's true, that the kid will fall behind if they don't specialize early?
No. Now, we all know that practice obviously does help enhance skills in various arenas in life. But what's important to know is that when we've looked at elite athletes, especially at the collegiate level, we see that only about 17% in some studies, the current sport they participated in is the first one they did. Most were 3 to 4 sport athletes in high school, did a variety of activities, and what they ended up doing in college was not what they started out at as a young age. So there's not really great supporting data that if you start young, only do that one sport, you have a better chance of a scholarship or elite success.
So it sounds like you encourage people to play multiple sports, have their kids try multiple things as they're young.
Yes, definitely. I would encourage participating in a variety of sports. Aside from what I've already mentioned, it really helps develop different neuromuscular skills, such as, obviously throwing is different than kicking, like putting it on a basic level. But you can really fine tune that. You want to use different muscles to develop them. So as these kids are growing, they learn different skills, they develop different muscles, less chance of injury, and then overall they're probably a more well-rounded athlete.
As long as the parents are ready to drive them all over the place, right? Yeah. That's the key, right? You got to be ready, pop and weave. All right.
Yeah. I also think what's important related to that is the total number of hours across all sports. A good rule of thumb is the kid's age. So keep to their organized activities around their age. So 7-year-olds, 7 hours or less. It's really important.
Great advice from Dr. Catherine Fox. Well, thank you so much for the time here this week.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yeah.